Movie draft time.
Movies.
And we're doing slasher movies, ladies and gentlemen, slasher movies. And since our guest picker, Donnie, got to do his picks first, Frank will get to go first this time. And then we'll go with Donnie's picks. And then we'll go with my picks. So, Frank, what is your first choice for slasher movies? We're trying to build the ultimate triple feature.
Coming out of the box hot. So I'm going with one that I've actually seen before, and that's American Psycho.
He's going American Psycho, ladies and gentlemen. By the way,
you ever listen to Genesis?
I didn't go to a ton of effort when it came to the movie posters on this, because a lot of them are either sequels or remakes or like a whole boatload of different things. So if you choose like Halloween and it's Rob Zombie's Halloween, you're going to get the original poster just because. All right, but you go American Psycho. Donnie, we move over to his list. Donnie is going with the OG Friday the 13th.
The one that killed Kevin Bacon.
All right. And for myself, I was kind of hoping one of you guys would take one of these other movies here. But I am going to start with the movie that sort of, I don't want to say reinvented the genre, but kind of got people back into it. Okay. Scream. We've been watching that here. My kid and I, we've watched Scream. We watched Scream 2. We watched Scream 5, I think is what it was. Which, by the way, I mean, it's all right. It's not super fantastic. Now, my next choice is going to be a movie that was highly, highly anticipated. Because everybody would always have that conversation, who would win in a fight? Freddy versus Jason.
Oh, wow.
I remember seeing this in the theater, and quite frankly, I thoroughly enjoy this movie.
Might have been the only one.
You know what? And I'm fine with that. Let's go back to Donnie here. We're going to see Donnie's getting the OGs in there, man. He's going with the original A Nightmare on Elm Street,
where they killed off Johnny Depp, who didn't use his real name in the movie.
All right, Frank, we are back to you, and you get to go back to back, my man. You currently have American Psycho. What are the other two you want?
I'm gonna go with the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I just remember. Yeah, that one was kind of freaky. Even though I think you could honestly outrun that fat porky guy if you ever got away.
You mean Leatherface?
I think he'd give up. I think he'd give up after about like 50 feet because he didn't seem like he really ran a lot. I think he'd probably run out of stamina and energy pretty quick. So.
All right, and what's your third slasher movie?
My 33rd. I don't know, man. I'm not a big slasher guy. I would say would Killer Clowns be considered slasher, but that's not really slasher.
Not really.
They made everybody into cotton candy.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of cotton candy in that one.
Just a lot of cotton candies.
I mean, you can go with the old reliable. You can just pick Halloween.
Yeah, why not? Let's just go with the Halloweensies.
I'm glad that you really stuck to your convictions. Fine. Why the hell not? Just go with Halloween. The original.
Halloween.
Now, do you know which Halloween did not feature Michael Myers?
Was it the third one?
Season of the Witch. They tried to move away from the Michael Myers storyline. It bombed, so then they went back to Michael Myers.
Have you ever seen how like the Halloween universe is explained? It's like there's the first one and the second one, then the third one's down here, then the fourth one's like its own movie, and it goes to and it's like they're all just completely separate from each other. And then like maybe the sixth one comes back to like the first two. It's pretty interesting how they did not keep a direct timeline.
So yet again, Donnie getting his top 3 on the board because he is going with Hellraiser for his third choice. Hellraiser. Now, I do have to point this out because I try to not look at Donnie's lists when he sends them to me because I don't want it to affect how I would actually I don't want it to be like, oh, he's going to pick this one next, so I got to pick it now. Like I don't want that to happen. But I did have to take a peek a little bit here because there's a movie he put on there.
Candyman?
No, although we do have Candyman.
That V in the eyeball always weirded me out.
Motel Hell. He had this one on his list, and I had to include it. I had to include it.
People are gonna really get on us if somebody didn't go with the original Psycho.
Well, spoiler alert, that is my third choice.
There you go. We saved it, everybody. Shut up.
Because here are some of the other honorable mentions. Is that we do have like the 90s flicks, late 90s, early 2000s. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Ugh. How'd that go?
That's my Conan O'Brien.
We also have Friday the 13th Part 2. That's the one where actually it's Jason. It's not his mom.
And he has that like face.
Yeah. Here's one for Frank, Urban Legend.
Yeah, Urban Legends 2 was the one I saw.
And how did that work out for you?
It was I checked out after about 10 minutes.
I completely forgot Lex Luthor's in that movie.
Yeah, I don't remember the rest of it. I know Joey Lawrence was in it, but I checked out after the first kill. I was like, this is not my thing.
You also have Scream 2, fantastic movie. Watched that one with my daughter over the weekend as well. Because it did such a good job of explaining sequels, but following some of the rules, but like kind of laughing at some of the, at some of them. What?
Would Hollow's the Johnny Depp Sleepy Hollow, would that be considered a slasher?
I don't think so.
I mean, he's slashing heads off left and right.
Yeah,
cutting people up.
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The other one
sounded like Jason.
The other one that I was going to pick, this was going to be the next one on my list, was Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Because remember, this is the one that kind of broke that wall where it was Freddy had come into the real world.
Is that the one where like they show him being born and like the baby baby Freddy like runs away from when he's like being born?
God, I can't remember.
I was in high school and I remember like they were playing one of those Freddy movies and I was like sleeping and I woke up in the middle of that scene. I was like,
that's what you woke up to?
Yeah, it's her having her kid. It was like in a dark, like dingy hospital and the thing just blasting out, just like the alien, blasting out of the vagina. Running away.
I get them all jumbled together. I used to have the box set of Nightmare on Elm Street, and I remember, I think it was when I was living in Florida, and I went boom, 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 and I watched all of them all the way through, and so I kind of get them mixed up. I do remember. I think it's, was it Dream Warriors?
Dream Warriors.
Was that? It's the third one, and I think that's the one where he comes out of the TV, because I remember I used this clip a lot on 93 Rock down in Florida, and it's where his arms bust out of the TV and he goes, "Welcome to prime time, bitch," and he like oh, that was fantastic. All right, so that's our triple features for slasher movies. Frank has American Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Halloween, the OG. Donnie going OG as well with Friday the 13th, A Nightmare on Elm Street, and Hellraiser. And I have Scream, Freddy vs. Jason, and Psycho. Now, the thing that I like to do is I put this stuff up on my social medias, at The Real Brandalorian, Instagram, Facebook. Now I'm back on TikTok too, by the way. You can follow me over there. But I'll put up a post that just shows the three, like each of our triple features. And I just pose the question, who picked the best triple feature? Of this one, I am willing to bet most people choose Donnie's.
Probably because the old school.
I always feel really strong about my choices, but this one are like these movies I really enjoyed, but I don't think that they have enough mass appeal for people to be like, yeah, I would totally watch Scream and then Freddy versus Jason and Psycho. Where I think Donnie's is kind of almost the essentials. I mean, obviously, he didn't get Halloween because that one was already picked, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but with Friday the 13th, A Nightmare on Elm Street, and Hellraiser, that's like boom, boom, boom. Like those are three of the top ones.